I want to talk about runs, doing runs.
Okay.
And that's something that we were both raised doing. We grew up listening to people who sang like that and did runs and riffs, and some people call them riffs, runs. I was raised calling them runs, and when I moved to the South to go to college, I remember people calling them riffs, and so it doesn't.
There's a difference.
Oh, really?
There's a difference.
Okay.
Runs are oh, and then you have a riff that's oh. Riffs have more accidentals. Incidentals. They have more incidentals in them.
Oops.
No, that's not wrong. I think a lot of people don't know that. A run is a more consistent thing that has the lesser of all the incidentals and changes and different sharps and flats in it, giving you more of a run.
Like
because
a
it's yes,
so, right, like a Whitney, like a
Whitney is more of a runner.
like
Kim
the,
Burrell
what you
is
find
more
in
of a riffer.
okay. So when you find in more pop music
Yes.
to decorate things,
Yes, more in pocket, very quick, not
Yeah.
many like flats and sharps and like.
So you would associate riffing with more of jazz.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
We were watching the documentary, Ken Burns' documentary on jazz.
Yeah.
And we were watching a clip of it, and Louis Armstrong was talking about the riffs, and
Yeah.
it was a new thing to scat, and he was talking about how
Created, he
scatting
started
was
it.
copying instruments, and so when you think about running and riffing, it really derived from copying instruments,
Absolutely.
and instruments copy humans, by the way, but we copy what we hear, and we copy what's around us. So if you're raised in a place that has a certain instrument or certain animal, you copy that. Animals can copy. It's a very interesting mimicking game.
Yeah.
So a lot of runs came from copying pianos and horns.
And that's the thing. When we watched that interview, Louis Armstrong said that he had dropped his sheet music, so he didn't see it anymore. He
Yeah.
didn't want to stop the recording because there was no way in that time to like stop, cut, copy, paste, all that. It was always a rundown straight through. So he started to mimic the horn
Yeah.
with his mouth instead of because he had to make it happen. And they loved it, and he kept going. But I think
Yeah.
that it's very much a big family thing. It's like riffs and runs are in the same family. They're cousins. They're not directly the same, but they're in the same bloodline. And I feel like a lot of people try to confuse them, but they're different. Absolutely different.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so, even 50 years ago, riffs and runs were different than they are now. This
sure.
is very recent in history. In the big picture of history, runs and riffs are advancing so quickly, and there's something that really didn't exist like they do now 50 years ago. You had let's say Sam Cooke, who really introduced a lot of runs and riffs into secular music. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
that
those
kind of
still
stuff.
exist though,
Yes,
in
yes.
artists like Joe.
Yeah.
Joe has more of that type of
Yeah.
approach as far as his timing.
Exactly.
Which is so, now I think about it, it's like, that's crazy.
That
to
is
think
Sam
about.
Cooke all day long. Sam Cooke came along and changed everything. Sam Cooke, the Isley brothers got a lot from Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Ron Isley, that's Sam Cooke too, that era. And so when Sam, who would come from the church, and I think he had two different names at one point, just so he can be in the
Separate
church and the
together,
world,
exactly.
brought a lot of that stuff in, a lot of that fun stuff. And then after that, you have Stevie Wonder coming in with the piano. And because Stevie plays piano,
Yeah.
he's able to do and hear things that
Changes.
were so different and groundbreaking. And, Stevie coming, doing stuff that's just insane. Like, it's like, are you serious? And so that he brought in a lot of that riffing.
Yeah. See, and that's riffing.
Yeah, because he's singing on the chords, and
Yes.
he would
changes and he's singing through
Yeah.
and maneuvering. That's the riff of it all.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, it's so crazy because you think about it. There is no now. I think it's more of a sport. These artists that you're naming right now, and there's several more and several many.
Yeah.
They were doing it from a space of feeling, of emotion.
Yeah, like Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
Just-
even in that, it's like, though it's on a whim and it's very much in the moment, it's still a feeling that's rooted to it. It's not just, let me calculate and say, oh, like it's not
Yeah.
a calculation. And I think people now do it more so to step into the conversation of I'm great, which that doesn't necessarily calculate greatness. And I know it sounds crazy coming from someone who does them a lot, but like it that doesn't calculate greatness.
Yeah.
And I think even to myself, I look to myself and say, you need to push further and go into things that are texture, tone, range, timbre, approach, timing, style, like styling.
Yeah.
Because it's not just that. That doesn't accumulate greatness. And if you think about it, you only put yourself in a box. You kind of pigeonhole yourself when all you can do is be creative with riffs and runs.
Yeah, it's
There's
like
nothing more
a
to
cake
you.
filled with icing.
Yeah,
The
it's
whole
over.
thing is
It's-
icing.
I don't want any of that.
And unless we're doing it for a sport like we do,
Yeah.
we go back and forth and do it all the time and it's fun.
But that's sharpening. That's tool
Yeah, that's
sharpening.
different.
That's tool sharpening. I think now it's just a time in the world where TikTok has so many different singers online, and now
Yeah.
everything's a challenge, and every run is a challenge, and it shouldn't be geared towards challenges. It needs to be a feeling because, and I know we've done them, but it's like, for instance, the Renaissance album that Beyonce has was on Plastic Off the Sofa. Though we're recreating that, she felt those things. Those weren't things that someone told her to do. So we're, making it a challenge, and I'm not saying that we're bettering the situation, but we're pushing people to do more. But it's always a feeling. It's always your communication of your expression. And that's what it's supposed to be. Everyone should have their own style.
And it's true. And it's fun because words can only do so much.
But
outside of words, what do you do? If you have a feeling in you and you want to get it out, if I'm just feeling something, I just want to go. If I just feel something outside of words, what do? And you can do so much outside of words, and that's where that starts. Like after these words, what if I just feel like I could do that. If you just feel something and just do it. That's a cool thing that started with like the Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Sam Cooke, and Stevie Wonder, and then people down the line being able to just take and just
Take it
go,
and mold it and
just
shape it, yeah.
go and move with the music. It gives you more feeling than just lyrics. It's just like you're baking a cake and you want some icing on it. Where's the icing? I don't want a cake with no icing. I don't want a cake that's all icing. I want a cake that has cake and icing.
Yeah.
So I think of it like that. Like it's learning how to decorate well.
Yeah.